Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into BayCom Corp's latest financial report. So buckle up because we're about to see if this company is making money or just making moves. Let's see if they are sailing smoothly or if they are sinking. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below for even more corporate talk. So BayCom, a bank holding company, just released its Form 10Q, which is basically a quarterly financial snapshot. Think of it like a doctor's checkup, but for a company's money. The big question is, how's their financial health? BayCom Corp operates primarily through United Business Bank, offering banking services to small and mid-sized businesses, professionals, and individuals, mainly in California, Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, and Washington. We'll quickly run through the important parts of this report, but since it's a financial report, we'll focus on the finances. First up, the balance sheet, which is like a financial photograph of what the company owns and owes. The company had assets of approximately $2.56 billion at March 31, 2025, down from $2.66 billion at the end of last year. Remember that the company's health in short. Digging in, we see cash and cash equivalents took a big hit, going from about $364 million to $256 million, a pretty substantial drop. It could mean they're spending more, investing it, or just not bringing in as much cash. Investments available for sale are looking pretty steady at around $192 million, but equity securities, those are the stocks they hold, dip slightly from $13 one year dollars to $12 to reflect a bit of turbulence. Loans after setting aside money for potential losses increased a bit. This is good because loans are generally how banks make money. Loans climbed from approximately $1.95 billion after accounting for the allowance for credit losses, which is money set aside for possible bad loans. On the liability side, deposits, that is, the money people put in the bank, went down from $223 billion. Banks like to see this go up because deposits are what they use to make loans. Now for the income statement, which tells us how much money the company made or lost. Interest income from loans increased from $25.3 million to $27.1 million. That's good, meaning they're making more on their loans, but their gains on equity securities flipped from a gain of $573,000 to a loss of $255,000. That's market volatility hitting them. Non-interest expense, that is the cost of doing business in general, also saw a slight decrease to approximately $15.9 million. Overall, their net income landed at $5.7 million, down from $5.9 million. Not a huge drop, but certainly not growth either. Diluted earnings per share stayed steady at $0.51. Looking beyond the net income numbers into the condensed consolidated statements of comprehensive income, DOB, BayCom's total comprehensive income improved significantly at $7.8 million compared to $6.4 million. The biggest driver of this change was the higher change in unrealized gain on available for sale securities, which suggests that BayCom's investments in these securities are growing. Now let's look at the statement of cash flows. It tells where the money is going. Starting with the same net income of $5.7 million mentioned earlier, net cash provided by operating activities increased to $9.3 million, signaling effective day-to-day financial operations. Net cash used in provided by investing activities was negative at about $8.6 million because the company purchased a significant amount of loans. Net cash used in provided by financing activities was massively negative at around $108.2 million, which was mainly due to decrease in bank deposits. Alright, that's the core financials. Now let's look at what else might be important. Let's dive deeper into their investments. A big chunk of their portfolio is in investment securities available for sale. While these investments are relatively safe, unrealized losses are significant, around $15 M CFIs, as suggesting some market volatility. Zooming in on the investment portfolio, it looks like agency bonds are all fairly short term and should mature within 10 years, with a higher distribution towards the later half of that window. BayCom's loan portfolio largely consists of commercial real estate loans, which signals a vulnerability to market downturns. Loan servicing and fees remained almost the same, only decreasing from $392 to $392 to $389, those activities. Now let's check any hidden risks. Here we found out commitments and contingencies. The bank has about $67.3 million worth of commitments to extend credit, but points out this is not an accurate of the true value that it is likely to experience. They also have a concentration of deposits. Their top 10 depositors account for around 11.2% of the total deposit, which might be risky. Also, it's worth noting that cash dividends declared on common stock not yet paid amount to $1.67 million. Finally, let's see the actions in the share market. Repurchase of shares decreased the common stock amount by 1.3 million dues. Now to summarize what we've seen, the good BayCom slightly boosted its interest income while keeping a lid on expenses. Their loan business seems to be doing well with a bump in revenue. The unrealized gain on securities also looks promising. The bad cash reserves are down and they're losing money on their equity securities, which definitely isn't a good sign. The total deposit decreased by 4.7% and net income is down. All in all, BayCom isn't in crisis mode, but the report does show mixed results, suggesting a need to focus on deposit acquisition and portfolio balance, as well as potentially improve owning costs. Now that's our breakdown of BayCom's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.